Hello crafty friend, it's Justine. Today we're going to be better pressing. I'm super excited because fall is my favorite season. I'm going to use several things from the fall collection and from the Halloween collection. So I'm going to actually press two things on camera, put together one after, and then show you a whole bunch of other ones that I've already made. I'll give you a little sneak preview. So I've been a busy little beaver here and been pressing my heart away. So let's just go ahead and start with one of these fall ones. Let's do this one, Autumn Thanks Frame. Haven't even opened it yet, but I did go ahead and prepare a background for it with some Distress Oxides. I don't remember the colors right now when I'm filming. Sometimes I just kind of get a blank, so yeah, it's blank, but it will be in the description for you, so when you're watching this, it's there. Okay, so to start off for the BetterPress, I always put my press plate down on the dark gray press plate part like this, and it is magnetized, so it's just going to stick right on there. I don't have to use tape or anything, which is really nice. Then I have my sentiment, so I'm just going to kind of center it right in. Actually, I'm going to sneak this over just a little. It's a pretty strong magnet. But since there's a grid on here, it really helps to get things straight and centered, and the sentiment's going to go right here in the middle. Okay, then this is where it's going to be impressed on. So I'm actually, I already cut this down just a teeny bit because I am going to put some cardstock on the back. So when I put it on this clear part here, it won't fit in the A2 size because it's just a teeny bit smaller. So I'm just going to center it as best as I can on the A2 size. So you can see there's a teeny bit of a gap there, but that's just fine. We're just going to make it work. Then I'm just going to use some Best Ever craft tape and just hold down the corners so we're all good to go. I always do this first before using any ink because it is a quick drying ink, so I don't want the ink sitting here wet on my press plate as I am arranging my paper. I thought it would be kind of fun today to use the bark, which is a brown, but I'm kind of nervous because I love black, so that is usually what I'm using all the time, but we're just going to be brave today and use brown anyway. So here we go. For adding the ink, you just kind of pounce and pivot, I think is what they call it. So you're just kind of smushing the ink right on there. It's a very, as they like to say a lot, it's a viscous ink, which means it's kind of sticky, and it is permanent, waterproof, like it says on the cover there. So we're going to have to use some archival ink cleaner to clean up this plate when we are done. I'll do that too on camera. But I thought it would be kind of fun to better press on camera and just kind of show you my process. I have a few videos already on YouTube of me better pressing, but why not do another one because fall is my favorite. Today I'm actually going to be doing a live on my channel. When this video goes up, it will be several days later, but I'm super excited. I'm actually going to be better pressing on camera, so it should be interesting. Now, I'm not sure if my paper is perfectly centered, but if we need to trim, we will. Alright, now I just feed this into my platinum. I have the 8.5-inch platinum, so it is super big, so it's definitely not going to fit on camera. But you just do one pass right through, and let's reveal the beautiful fall thank you card. Look at that. Oh, I'm so glad I did brown. This is so pretty. Okay, now I did get this just a teeny bit right. Now this is just a little bit over on the right, but my ink blending is right in the center, so that's really good news. I'll probably end up just slicing off this edge and this edge just a teeny bit so it's all straight, but This is gorgeous. I love that. Okay, well, I will put some cardstock behind this off camera, and I will post the final result on my Instagram. If you are not following me and you'd like to, my Instagram is Stationery by Justine or just Justine Dvorak. I have 2 accounts, and yeah, I've been posting double on there because I don't know, I guess exposure, but who knows if that's going to work out in the long run. Okay, now I'm just taking this archival ink cleaner. It has like a little pad here, a little felt maybe? I don't know. And I'm just rubbing the cleaner all over the press plate like so. This is just how I like to clean it. So you don't have to do it like me, but if you do, great. If you don't, okay. Then I just take a little cloth that I have in my craft room and just kind of give it a rub just to get some of the ink off of there. And then I like to take the press plate off and just spritz it with a little bit of water just to get some of the oil off. I think the archival cleaner has a little oil in it. I don't know if that's really what I'm feeling, but it feels kind of oily. So I always like to just spritz it off so I don't have any issues with oily fingers, and I like to store my products clean. So I just kind of give it a little rub again. Yes, with the same cloth. I'm not that picky, I guess. And I'll do that for the thanks. Give it a rub and spritz. I love having a spray bottle of water in my craft room. I find that to be really helpful because right now I am in my temporary craft space, which is upstairs. And our house is one of those old charming houses, so there's not plumbing upstairs. So if I need water, it's coming from that spray bottle for crafting. Anyway, this will get inky and there will be scratches. It just is what it is. If that bothers you, you can buy replacement pads online. I think they're like $12, but to me, we're crafting. I'm okay with getting a teeny bit messy. Okay, now let's try this one. This is just Darling with the mushroom and the big flower. I do have an Etsy shop, and occasionally Etsy will send me little notes about like the trends, and they said that mushrooms are going to be trendy this Christmas. So I don't know if that's really gonna happen. I don't even know how they know that, but mushrooms are going to be trendy apparently, and they suggested putting a mushroom in a Christmas wreath, so I don't know. Okay, now my sentiment goes like this. What does this say? Your acts of friendship brighten my day. Very sweet. I'm just going to nest that right about there, and then just make sure that it's somewhat straight. And then let's get the paper in. Again, it's just a tiny bit smaller than an A2, about maybe an eighth of an inch. No, yeah, well, maybe an eighth to a quarter, I don't know, of an inch off each side. I'm actually going to put the tape on this side. Hang on, flip down. Nope, I'm going to put it on this side because I don't want it to interfere with this part. And then I'm going to put it on the other side. For some of the Halloween dies, they're full press plates, and to avoid having any of the corners not be messed up, I actually did a tape roll on the back of this piece, so it goes in between the paper and this plate, and then my full card front would be showing. Should we do mulberry? Let's do mulberry just for fun. It's definitely a fall color, and I think that would look really pretty. We're doing it. Mulberry. I haven't picked up the new ink colors for the BetterPress, but I am excited to try them out, so I probably should pick those up soon. But I was kind of going to wait for a sale because, you know, I like to save a little bit, buy a lot of craft supplies, and just want to make sure I'm getting a deal, if you will. But The nice thing is Spellbinders has so many sales that you probably don't have to wait long. All right, now that my ink's on there, I'm just gonna flip it over. And yes, these plates do come with dies for cutting out the sentiments, so if that's your thing, you can definitely do that. I am just using the sentiment right with the big design for this project, but maybe in the future I would change it up and die cut it out, but not today. Oh, that is beautiful. Wow. That's all I'm gonna say there. Okay, well, that is gorgeous. Again, I do have a little bit coming off here, so I'll probably trim down the bottom, but that is gorgeous. Wow, okay. I'm gonna set that off to the side, and then now we're gonna put together the other card that is kind of like Halloween themed. And I'm going to move my platinum because it is rather large, and I just want to use my whole work surface to put together the next card. Right now I'm storing my ink in the package that they came in. I've heard that there are some really great storage solutions for these with some ink containers. I haven't got my hands on that yet, but perhaps one day I will. Okay, now this card is kind of like a spooky card. I kind of went a little crazy and I was experimenting in my craft room, as I do, with this paper. So I'm just going to mat it on this black cardstock, and then I'm going to show you what I did. It was kind of crazy. So I took a white piece of paper. No, was it gray? I think it was light gray. And then I just kind of smushed on my Versamark clear embossing ink and just kind of got it all over. I wasn't trying to be super specific, and I wanted these kind of patchy areas on purpose. And then I put some silver embossing powder on there and embossed it. And as everything was super hot, I just put a little bit of black embossing powder on some of the edges, just to kind of give it a weathered look, just kind of like a funky look. I don't know. That's kind of what I was going for there. I have never done that before, but I thought, why not give it a try? I think you could get a similar look with some silver mirror cardstock and some black embossing powder, but I just kind of wanted that texture of the embossing powder and the shine, but kind of like the distressed look of the black there too. Then this panel, I used a few of the BetterPress plates from the Halloween collection. I used the bats from the Halloween, and then this bird on the gravestone, kind of spooky there. And then I fussy cut out this little ghosty with the cat. I just kind of thought that the cat was kind of cute with the ghost, so I thought, let's do that. And then, you know, I love a good pun, so You're a Scream just kind of made me laugh a little bit, and I thought, let's do it. So I'm just gonna glue this on to my card, and of course the ghost is kind of floating, so we're just gonna pop it up a little bit. And You're a Scream is again part of the BetterPress Halloween. Everything on this card is, actually. And then the die that I used to cut out the black banner piece here, the black rectangle, is from the Postal Edge collection. I'll link that in the description for this as well. But it just has these little holes going around, and I thought that was kind of fun with the texture again. And then you can see I used white distress ink, not embossing, not Distress Oxide. I used the ink. I accidentally bought the ink, and I thought, let's try it on the black paper, and I do like the way it looks. So that's kind of what I did there. Okay, now let's show you all the rest of my Halloween cards and fall cards. Let's do the Halloween cards first, since I have this one out. This card was the pumpkin from the BetterPress. The Happy Halloween is also from BetterPress. And then we have an oval die, which was from the Postal Edge collection. And the embossing folder I used on the background, I'm not sure which one that is right now as I'm filming, but It was, I think, part of the monthly clubs from last year, so I will link it if it is available. This one is kind of a funny, silly one. I really like the ink that I did on the background. I used some Distress Oxides, and then I did the Spiderweb BetterPress plate on the back, and then did this, and then BetterPressed out the skeleton that says "Open if you dare." Then I finished off the card with some Nuvo drops. I did that on both of these cards. It's just the basic black Nuvo drops on there. Then on this one, I did some Distress Oxide blending and then BetterPressed out this Halloween sentiment plate that has all sorts of words all about Halloween. I definitely recommend, if you're going to use BetterPress plates and Distress Oxide inks, like ink blending like these two, ink blend first and then BetterPress, just so you have a really clear impression. This one was really similar to this card, but I used some, I think it was picked raspberries on the back, and then I added the embellishments that are from, I can't remember the name of those right now. Let's grab the name and the embellishments. I've used them a few times here, the Sparklets embellishments, and these are the Boo, and it's from Buttons, Galore, and More, which I love that name, but I've used quite a bit, and there's still a ton in there. And I also use those embellishments on these two cards, so just to give a little bit of glitz and glam. And this one, again, similar to these two, but I added another sentiment there, "You're my favorite ghoul." That's from the BetterPress sentiments, which, you guys, those are just fabulous because you press once and you die cut once. They're all lined up and it just makes sentiments so quick. Love that. And then on this one, I fussy cut out the two little ghosties, and I did cat's eyes green, and I just kind of quickly colored in the pumpkin with some colored pencils and did a simple, kind of clean and simple Halloween card on this one. This one is very similar to this card, except no embellishments, just ink blending and the BetterPress plate, just to kind of leave it as a simple but really fun card. And my last Halloween one is this one that's a funny sentiment, "I would never ghost you," which I think is super cute because they're both holding hands, and if you don't know, the term ghosting means that you're just like poof out of someone's life and they're holding hands, so they're kind of like liking each other. I don't know. I thought it was a cute little sentiment, and it went with this BetterPress plate. And then I did do the BetterPress on the background of this one with some ink blending. My last two fall cards, I know this is a lot, isn't it? Let's see, 8, 9, 10, 11. I did two big mushrooms, and I colored them differently, and they definitely give a totally different look by changing up the color. This one I did white and gray and red. This one I stuck with the neutrals. And you guys, it was so interesting. When I went to look up colors for mushrooms because I wanted to make them kind of accurate, I discovered and learned that mushrooms can be any color at all. There's blue, purple, pink, red, yellow, brown, black. There's any color you can imagine. There's a mushroom that is that. And there's even a mushroom called Sleeping Beauty, which I thought was really funny. And it like curves over and it looks like it's going to sleep, and it's pink. It's just kind of cute, but probably deadly. I didn't look into the research behind that at all, but I don't know. Oh, apparently PSA, my Jelly Roll pen is not working on my colored pencil work. Interesting. Okay, well, just to give a little highlight. Okay, well, that is all of the cards today. I will be finishing off my two fall cards off camera just to add some cardstock behind them. I don't think I'm going to color at all because I think the ink kind of does the work for me with that. So I will put all of these cards on my Instagram in the next couple days, and you can see the finished result with these two for sure. So thank you so much for watching all the way to the end, and I hope you had fun BetterPressing with me. If you haven't tried the BetterPress, I definitely recommend you pick up some of the ink, and you're gonna need this ink cleaner. If you don't have this, you're gonna need it for sure if you're gonna BetterPress, just to keep things clean and tidy. And just FYI, the other cleaner, which is from Ranger, this one, will not work, the water-based one, because the ink is not water-based ink and it's actually waterproof. And it does say that right on the ink pads. Acid-free, permanent, waterproof. So water-based ink, water-based stamp cleaner would not effectively clean it. You're gonna need this one. So, PSA. Okay, well, again, thank you for watching. I hope that you have a fabulous rest of your day. If you have not heard, I have a collection coming out with Spellbinders next month, September 10th. I will link it in the description. It's all about sports. I have equipment and jerseys. You can make cards for lacrosse, tennis, golf, bowling, softball, baseball, volleyball, hockey, basketball, soccer, and football. So there's something for everybody in there, and I just am so excited for people to start making things with it, because I've had the most fun myself, and now I want to see what you make with it. So if you're going to pick it up, tell me what your favorite sport is and what kind of cards you're thinking about making. Anyway, we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.